Hi everyone, welcome to the session. Very good morning. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So in the last class, we discussed about almost all types of testing. Let me go back and check once again. Okay, we covered functional testing, then we covered integration, system testing, smoke testing, sanity, acceptance testing, ad hoc testing, regression testing is covered, globalization is covered, alpha, beta is covered, recovery testing is covered, reliability testing is covered, exploratory testing, security testing, performance testing, accessibility testing, usability testing, database testing, compatibility testing, and cross-browser testing. Total 20 types we have covered. One more last one. In the interview, they might ask you, hey, can you please tell me what is the difference between functional and non-functional testing, or what is functional and non-functional testing? That time you should not get confused. See, this functional testing is different. Here this question is different, functional and non-functional. This functional is testing each and every component, but here it is different. They're asking you two term. Okay, if they're asking you these two words, means not this answer, this is separate answer. Okay, what is a functional and non-functional testing? Functional testing means testing the function. It's a type of software testing. Here we are going to test the functional aspects of the software without using any tools. Let's say, okay, let me get to the diagram. Let me open up Paint. Functional testing. Okay, so look at here. So without using any tools, we are not going to use any of the tools. Without using that, we want to go and do the testing. So those kind of testing, we call it as functional testing. Testing the functional aspects of the software application as per the requirement specification. Say smoke testing, integration, regression, sanity, system, UAT, unit testing, you can remove it. Okay, it's related to coding, so let's not take this unit testing. Okay, from testing point of view, especially for QAs. Developer, if he is referring, yes, we can take unit testing also. So he will go and check each and every line of a code. So let's keep it. Okay. Developer, he will go and check each and every line except this white box. That's unit testing. Let's keep it. Here also almost the same, gray box, UAT. Okay, so these are all functional aspects. And what do you mean by non-functional testing? So testing the non-functional behavior, like say performance testing, reliability testing, usability testing, security testing, those are all non-functional testing. Testing the non-functional aspects of the software application according to the requirement specification. Okay. Reusability, scalability, flexibility, usability, reliability. They've added security, added performance, efficiency, availability. Let me get some other diagrams. Yeah. So security, scalability, failure testing, usability testing, configuration testing, load testing, stress testing, volume testing, maintainability testing. You can add one more, say here, you can add reliability, you can add. So that is one missing. So these are all the types of non-functional testing. Take down heading. What is functional and non-functional testing? What is functional and non-functional testing? What is functional and non-functional testing? Small heading, functional testing. Testing the functional aspects of the software application. Testing the functional aspects of the software application. Testing the functional aspects of the software application. According to the requirement specification. Example, take down this diagram. Take these two diagrams. Let me know once it is completed. Completed? Good to go? Hello, hello,
Yes,
Mike.
yes.
Kavita,
Yes, yes.
take down another heading. What is non-functional testing? What is non-functional testing? What is non-functional testing? It's a type of software testing. It is the type of software testing. It is the type of software testing. Here we check. Here we check the non-functional aspects of the. Here we check the non-functional aspects of the. Here we check the non-functional aspects. ASPECTS, non-functional aspects of the software application. Here we check the non-functional aspects of the software applications like performance testing, comma, usability testing, like performance testing, comma, usability testing, comma, reliability testing, etc. Like performance testing, usability testing, etc. Take down the diagram. Add reliability also into that diagram. Reliability is not there, I guess. Finish it fast.
Done.
Done. Okay. So this completes your all the testing concepts. Okay, now we are heading into the test cases. Why I should write a test case? If I don't write, what happens? Let's take one example. So I have a two test engineers. So one is Pawan, and another one is, let's say, Soumya. So these two test engineers are working in the same company from past 2 years. They're working in the same company from past 2 years as a test engineers. Yes, they have written a lot of test cases. They have identified a lot of bugs and they have executed a lot of test scenarios. So when they joined and they were working, so testing quality was too good. And every day they used to have a very good mood for testing. And they're working consistently in the project. There was no issue at all. In the 2 years, they have taken hardly 5 days leave. That's it. They were having around 40 leaves which are carry forwarded. Means they can encash this 40 leaves as a cash. So that is the level of commitment they were having, and they're working beautifully. After 2 years, they both, okay, so Pawan, okay, got married to some girl, and Soumya got married to somebody. Okay. Okay, now they have a family. So they have a dependency. Every day they have to wake up, they have to get ready, and they have to cook for the family, and then they have to come to the office. Okay, in between, okay, let's say Pawan and his wife, they'll fight each other in the morning, early morning. So Pawan, he don't have a mood to come to office, and he has not even had a breakfast also. He came to the office. So today, Pawan mood is not good. Mood of a test engineer, Pawan is not good. So he will not work properly. But Soumya mood is good. She'll work as usual without any compromise in the testing quality. And here, the Pawan testing is not consistent because he's not having a mood to work on the project. Testing is not consistent. And then it is getting varied from earlier and today's work. So it varies from person to person. Next day, Pawan, okay, now the patch up work is done. So Pawan and his wife, they go, okay, so no issues. Okay, she's prepared beautifully kesari bath and upma, so he will have it and he will take a box and come to office. Next day, Soumya and her husband, they'll fight each other. And okay, she don't even prepare any food. She'll come to office without any mood. Again, testing is not consistent for Soumya, but Pawan is good. He's working as usual. Again, it is getting varied from that person to person. So Pawan is doing good, but Soumya is not working properly. So if this is the case, one day your mood is good, another day your mood is not good. In that mindset, if you're coming to office, I have to close my office and I have to take a plate and come to the road because you're not working properly. I don't want to go rubbish with your family problems. You keep your family problems in your home. Don't bring into office. The moment you share your personal things in the office, people start playing politics with you. People start playing with your weaknesses. So make sure you don't carry your personal things to office. You don't share your personal information to your friends or colleagues who are all working in the office. Those are all the only colleagues. They cannot become a permanent friends like your school friends or college friends. They'll only play with your emotions, your weaknesses. So make sure you carry that dignity when you go to the office. Okay. So in order to avoid all the situations, we write a test cases. So testing qualities depends on the mood of a test engineer, and testing should, it will not be consistent. If it is not consistent, then quality will not be good. And testing varies from person to person. In order to avoid this, we write a test case. Test case, it's a document. Test case, it's a document. Here we cover all the possible test scenarios to test the features of an application. For that reason, we are going to write a test cases. When we write a test case, when we write test case. So whenever customer gives a requirement, okay, development team, they'll start developing the software. Let's say they need a few days earlier. Okay, I'm going to come back to the picture 2000. Okay, earlier developers, they used to take like 4 months or 3 months to do the development. Remaining 3 months or 4 months, testers were idle. So that time, testers, they used to understand the requirements, and then they used to sit and identify the scenarios, and then they used to write a test cases, and those test cases will be reviewed by the senior QAs. And then once all the test cases are approved, by the time the product is developed and it will be sent to the QA team, so testing team, they will start looking into the test case and they'll start testing the product. They will not look into the requirement because they have written the test case by looking into the requirements. So when they get a product, they look into the test case and they'll start testing the product. So hence, there is no dependency on anybody. The mood is good. The quality of testing will happen because we have written a test case. You cannot say your mood is good or not good. You have to execute 20 test cases, whatever you have written or whatever somebody has written, which is assigned to you. You have to execute and go home. So the quality will be good, testing will be consistent. That time we do this, we write these test cases. Why we write? In order to have a better test coverage. Like we want to cover all the possible scenarios, and you cannot remember everything, right? So you don't have to remember. We write all the possible scenarios and document it so that you don't have to remember all the scenarios. And in order to have a consistency in test execution, whenever we get a product, we'll just look into the test case and we'll start executing the test cases on the product. So the consistency will be there. You will not get deviated. You have your target to finish it before you log out. And to avoid the training to a new engineers who have joined the product. For example, you have, let's say, Pawan and Soumya, they worked for 5 years. So they have a very good knowledge on the product and they got a beautiful salary hike and they want to quit the company. Okay, fine. That's a growth everybody need. But if they would have not written a test case, then they are going with a lot of knowledge and scenarios. That should be utilized. If I hire a new engineer, again, that fellow doesn't know anything. So in order to avoid that, any engineer who's leaving a company, they leaves with a lot of knowledge and scenarios. Those knowledges and scenarios should be documented like a test cases, so that if any new engineer comes, they can say that, okay, hey, you please refer these test cases and these scenarios we have written. And then they'll give a KT session. KT means knowledge transfer, not TKT. Okay, it's KT means knowledge transfer. So where they'll explain whatever they have worked and whatever the test cases they have written. And then new engineer, he will start looking into that and he will also add a scenarios to the test cases, whatever they have written, so that dependency will be avoided. And the project will run smoothly without any issues. So to depend on the process rather than the person. If Soumya is living, if Pawan is living, I cannot go and beg, hey, stay back, stay back, stay back. No, you document all the things. You're leaving, that's fine, go. I'll hire a new engineer, give a KT session, give a backup, move on. Everybody needs a growth. Okay, that's fine. So, but I don't want to depend on Pawan or Soumya. I want to depend on process rather than the person. If I would have written a test case, I don't have to worry at all. For that reason, we write a test cases. Now, take down heading, test case. Under that, test cases main heading, under that you write down. The testing quality will be depends on the following factors. The testing quality will be depends on the following factors. The testing quality will be depends on the following factors. While working on the project, while working on the project, right on these 3 points. Mood of a test engineer. Testing is not consistent. It varies from person to person. Right on this 3 points. Completed.
Yes, sir.
Right on next line. Test case, it's a document. Test case, it's a document. Test case, it's a document which covers all the possible test scenarios. Test case is a document which covers all the possible test scenarios. Test case is a document which covers all the possible test scenarios. Test case is a document which covers all the possible test scenarios to test all the features of an application. To test all the features of an application. To test all the features of an application. Next heading. When we write test case? When we write test case. When we write test cases. Whenever customer gives the requirements. Whenever customer gives the requirements. Business analyst or product owner, they'll gather those requirements. Whenever customer gives the requirement, business analyst or product analyst. They'll gather those requirements and then they'll convert them into a PBIs, and then they'll convert them into a small, and then they'll convert them into a small piece of work items, and then they'll convert them into small piece of work items, and then they'll convert them into a small piece of work item like a PBI. They'll convert them into small piece of work items like a PBI, product backlog item, like a PBI. Like a PBI, full stop. And then they will assign it to the respective development team and QA team. And then they will assign it to the respective, then they will assign it to the respective development and QA team. Then they will assign it to the respective development and QA team whenever there is a sprint meeting starts. Whenever there is a sprint meeting starts. Whenever there is a sprint meeting starts. Whenever the sprint meeting starts. Full stop. Development team, they'll start developing the features which are assigned. Development team, they'll start developing the features. Development team, they'll start developing the features which are assigned. Development team developing the features which are assigned. Let's start developing the features which are assigned. Meanwhile, QA team, meanwhile, QA team, they will start, meanwhile, QA team, they'll start identifying all the possible test scenarios. Meanwhile, QA team, they'll start identifying all the possible test scenarios. They'll start identifying all the possible test scenarios. And write the test cases accordingly. And write the test cases accordingly. Write the test cases accordingly. Full stop. Once test case writing is completed, once test case writing is completed, those test cases will be sent for review process. Those test cases will be sent for review process. Full stop. Senior test engineer or a test lead. Senior test engineer or a test lead. They will review the test cases. Senior test engineers or test leads. They will review the test cases. They'll review the test cases and then they'll give approval. And then they'll give approval for those test cases. And then they'll give approval for those test cases. Full stop. Remember, all of you, look at here. See, whenever we write a test case, right? Our senior test engineers or our colleagues or lead, they'll review, means they'll check is there any spelling mistake or whether we have missed any scenarios. So they'll check and they'll give a comments. Okay, hey, this is missing, or this spelling mistake is there, or the scenario you have missed. They'll give a comments. So we have to fix those review comments, means we have to correct the test cases and then they'll give approval. So once test cases are approved, those test cases we use it for execution. This was happening earlier, but nowadays most of the people, they'll not do it because we don't even have a time. So we have to move on with the testing as soon as possible. So it takes a lot of time. Earlier, like in this MNC, still it is followed, but startup companies it is not followed. Okay. Can anyone read the notes once again? I just want to see when we write test case. Anybody? Go ahead. Take initiative quick. Yeah.
Whenever customer gives the requirements, business analyst or product owner gather those requirements and then they will convert them into small piece of work item like PBI, and then they will assign to respective develop and create team. Whenever sprint meetings start, development team they will start developing the feature which are assigned. Meanwhile, PA team they will start uh, identify all the possible test scenarios and write the test cases accordingly. Once test case rating is completed, those test cases will be sent for the process. Senior test engineer or test lead, we will review the test cases and then they will give approval for the test cases.
They'll give approval for test case. Full stop. By this time, continuation. By this time, development team they would have developed the product. By this time, development team they would have developed the product. By this time, development team they would have developed the product. Development team they would have developed the product. Development team they would have developed the product. Testing team they'll start testing the product. Testing team they'll start testing the product. Testing team they'll start testing the product. This is the last batch which I'm taking manual testing. Going forward, I will never take any manual testing class. means we'll upload it in the YouTube, so that we can save a lot of time. So that we can finish the course in 3.5 months. We are planning to focus more on the programming part. So while teaching programming, I will be sharing these recordings to the people who can watch the testing. Because now we want to implement LLM testing for like AI related testing in the programming as well. So for that we need a more time. Right? When we write so well, like by the time development team, they would have developed the product and give it to the testing team. So testing team, they'll start testing the product by looking into the test cases, so that testing will be consistent, so that testing will be consistent, testing will be consistent, come on, does not depend on the mood of a QA engineer, it does not depend on the mood of a QA engineer.
Sir, once again repeat, sir.
Yes. So that testing will be consistent and does not depend on the mood of a QA engineer. Does not depend on the mood of a QA engineer.
Sir, before sir, they will start testing the product
They'll
while
start,
looking into the.
yeah, they'll start testing the product by looking into the test cases. By looking into the test cases.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I have seen that there is a new batch will be, opening on February
Yeah,
5th.
Python automation.
Yeah.
That is for your batch only.
Okay, okay, sir.
I'll update. Once this manual testing is completed, we're gonna start.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So that is for people who want to join newly, right? For them also there'll be announcement.
Sir, uh, that Python, that is automation related to AI.
Yeah.
Okay. What for us, Java, sir?
Java, you guys, you can continue with Java Selenium.
In that they are related any AI?
See, if you want to learn with AI, no, so Python only you need to learn.
Okay. In Java, it's not possible, sir.
Java, we have it, but rarely people will use it. If you see
Okay.
here, okay, let's go back and ask Copilot. Okay, I want to learn AI testing. Should I learn Python or Java for that? So usually AI ecosystem is built using this TensorFlow, PyTorch, okay, the NumPy, Pandas, and the Skit. So these are all Python libraries. Majorly we use it. Okay.
Okay.
So for that reason, these are all limited AI libraries compared to this. These are all the for Python we are going to use it. And AI ML community, all these things we do, right? AI model development, most of them recommended Python is a better choice. AI frameworks. If you're focusing on automation testing, applications, APIs, mobile app, performance. Java is stronger.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So both has a market. I don't say no. But related to the AI testing, yeah, Python is a little better. But okay, you don't get confused. Oh, I am not going to get a job now. Java,
Yes, sir. Still, I'm in confused only what I should do.
no, no, no. Focus on Java only. Don't get deviated. In future, after getting a job, you can switch to like Python also. No problem. Now, don't try to learn both. Otherwise, you will be na
Okay.
garka na gatka. You will not learn both.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Never
true.
do that. It's for everybody. Even I am also not pro in Java. I learned Java in 2016. I forgot. Then I learned Python. I prepared myself. I cracked the interview. I'm working on Python instead. That's it. So
Okay, sir.
you cannot be a pro in both the language. Be a pro in one language. That's enough. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Fine. So this is done when we write test case. Next, why we write test cases? Why we write test cases? Why we write test cases? Under that point number one, to have a better test coverage. To have a better test coverage. Here we cover all the possible scenarios and document it. To have a better test coverage, put on hyphen, continue. Here we cover all the possible scenarios. Here we cover all the possible scenarios and document it so that so that we don't have to remember all the scenarios. So that we don't have to remember all the scenarios. So that we don't have to remember all the scenarios. Okay, next second point. In order to have a consistency in test case execution, in order to have a consistency in order to have a consistency in test case execution, we are going to write test cases.
So test case execution after that.
In order to have a consistency in test case execution, we write a test cases. We write a test cases. We write a test cases. Next, third point, to avoid the training to every new engineer, to avoid the training to avoid the training to avoid the training to every new test engineer on the product.
Sir, repeat once again, sir.
To avoid the training to every test engineer, to avoid the training to every test engineer, every test engineer on the product, to avoid the training to every new engineer on the product. We write a test cases. We write a test cases. We write a test cases. Write a test cases because continuation, because whenever any engineer leaves the company, whenever any engineer leaves the company, he leaves with a lot of knowledge and scenarios. He leaves with a lot of knowledge and scenarios. He lives with a lot of knowledge and scenarios. Full stop. Those scenarios, he lives with a lot of knowledge and scenarios, full stop. Those scenarios should be documented. 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 Those scenarios should be documented so that new engineer can test with given scenarios. So that new engineer can test with the given scenarios. So that new engineer can test with the given scenarios, and also he can write a new scenarios, and also he can write new scenarios. Last point, to depend on the process rather than the person. to depend on the process rather than the person. To depend on the process rather than the person, we go with a, like, we write a test cases. Okay, so done. Test case design technique is over. Oh, sorry. Why we write test case is over. Now we have a foundation. Okay, now why we have to write test case? It's clear, but in order to write a test case, we need to follow certain procedures. There are some test case design techniques we have. Okay, first one is, we say, boundary value analysis, BVA. Second one is equivalence class partitioning. Equivalence class partitioning. And third one is decision table. Fourth one is state transition diagram. And fifth one is error guessing technique. Error guessing technique. So before we write a test case, we have to follow any one of this. We have to apply while writing a test case so that our coverage will be good. Test coverage will be good. So now, what do you mean by this BVA, boundary value analysis? See, whenever we are writing a test case, the working principle of this boundary value analysis says that we can derive the multiple possible values. For example, I want to test amount to transfer text field. Example I'm giving you. Let's say there is a text field, amount transfer. Okay, so from account number to account number and amount. Click on transfer or send or cancel. Let's say account incidents, credit card, investments, and log out. Okay, so the moment I click on some of the feature, let's say amount transfer feature is opened. So you're going to write from account number to account number and amount. And say transfer, cancel. Okay, now I want to test. I want to go ahead and do the testing of this amount text field. Same way you can test for from account number to account number. See, let's say from account number. Okay, if you are working in, okay, earlier we used to have a separate field called from account number, but nowadays no bank will have this field, because by default from means your account only, it will be automatically selected. But earlier we used to have, like 6-7 years back, we used to have this text field. We used to enter our account number, then to account number whom we want to transfer. Okay, this is old one. Okay, so you need to enter. There will be a restriction, right? Let's say these many, okay, for SBI, let's say some 14 digits or 11 digits. For say for Canara Bank, there's a different number of digits will be there. So there will be a restrictions would have been applied to this from account number, or similarly for to account number. Accordingly, you have to test. Now amount text field, okay, it will accept only positive integer. That's first thing. Only positive integer, I'm saying. And it should not accept more than the account balance. Okay, let's say for example your account balance is 500 rupees, you're trying to transfer 550 rupees. It should accept or it should not accept?
Should not accept.
Accept.
Not accept. So, and it says that, okay, from 1 rupee to till the account balance you can transfer. I'll just say AB, account balance, you can transfer. So these two are the boundaries. Okay, what is the minimum value? Okay, you can transfer 1 rupee. And then account balance, maximum value, account balance you can transfer whatever the amount is there. Let's say instead of AB, let's say your balance is 500 rupee. Yes, you can transfer 500 rupee. That's your amount. Okay. Then -1, like 1 minus 1. Let's say 0 rupee I want to transfer. Is it possible to transfer 0 rupee?
No, sir.
No. Okay. AB, okay, 500 rupee your balance, account balance. 500 plus 1. So 501. Can I transfer?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. So next, 500 minus 1. So 499. Can I transfer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
1 plus 1. So 2 rupees can I transfer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Perfect. That is what we expect. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. This one, no, you cannot transfer. This one, you cannot transfer. So boundary value analysis. These two are the boundary. 1 and 500 rupee. These two are the boundary. So A, comma B. These two are the boundary. A means 1. B, another one boundary is 500. So I have derived the other values like A plus 1. A minus 1. What does A plus 1 means? 1 plus 1 becomes 2, right? This is A plus 1.
Yes.
A minus 1. 1 minus 1. That's a 0.
0.
Similarly, B plus 1. 500 plus 1.
501.
501. B minus 1.
499.
499. So we have covered all the values. It is not necessary to enter 100 rupee, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, la la la, blah 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 like that. You don't have to test all the values. That is junk values. You don't have to check junk values. These values are more than enough, and you have covered inside a boundary, outside a boundary, you have covered the values. Because boundary is 1 and 500. Inside a boundary, you tested 2 and 499. That's fine. It is accepting. 499 is accepting means by default, if you enter 300 also, it will accept. But if you enter 300.12, is it integer 0.12?
No, sir.
300.12, is it an integer?
No, sir. It's a floating value.
Floating value. It should not accept. It should not accept. First, you check this boundary values. Then you enter the flow. See, they have given a condition, only positive integers. And it should not accept more than the account balance. Let's say 501, it is not accepting means by default, if you enter 10,000 also, it will not accept. If you enter 0 also, by default, it will not accept. Minus 100 also, it will not accept. Because 0 is not accepting, minus 100 also, it will not accept. So this is how you need to test. Boundary value analysis is one of the test case design techniques. With the help of this, we are going to derive the boundaries, which includes maximum value, minimum value, inside a boundary and outside a boundary, and other error values, like as I told, minus 100 or minus 1, or the 300.12 or 100.12, any kind of this like floating values you can check. This is called a boundary value analysis technique. Artha aita? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Take down. Test case design techniques. Test case design techniques.
We have to take all that 5 points, sir. Or
Yes. Test case design technique has been divided into total 5 types. Write down all the 5 names. Completed?
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Heading boundary value analysis. Heading boundary value analysis. BVA, boundary value analysis. It's one of the test case design technique. 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 Using this technique, we can derive the we can derive the we can derive the maximum testing values like using this we can derive the maximum testing values like maximum testing values like maximum comma minimum maximum comma minimum comma inside inside comma outside boundaries inside comma outside boundaries inside comma outside boundaries and other error values and other error values. Full stop. Next line. When we have an input when we have an input as a range of values, when we have an input as a range of values between A and B, when we have an input, a range of values, when we have an input, a range of values between A and B, A and B, comma, put a comma. Then we design the test cases. Then we design the test case for, then we design the test case for, write down A, comma, A plus 1, comma, A minus 1, A, comma, A plus 1, comma, A minus 1, and B, comma, B plus 1, comma, B minus 1. Then we are going to derive or design the test cases like A, comma, A plus 1, comma, A minus 1, and B, comma, B plus 1, and B minus 1. That's it. Then take down this diagram and take all these values. And you can write error values like minus 100. Say then next 1.6. It should not accept. It is not going to accept. So tomorrow I'm going to cover the remaining boundary value analysis, and then we're going to start identifying the scenarios and test cases. Tomorrow class is very important. Don't miss it.
Done, sir.
Done? Okay, cool. Then I'll stop it today. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Akka.